So this is a normal blood sugar. So 70 to 100 is a normal blood sugar. But when are we diagnosed with diabetes? Does anyone know what the number is, fasting, to diagnose diabetes? 126. So the diagnosis of diabetes is made at 126. That is not a normal blood sugar. A normal blood sugar is between 70 and 100. So what is 101 to 125? Normal? No. Diabetes? No. It's pre-diabetes. That's why it's very simple to diagnose where you are based on your blood sugars. Now, some people will tell me, my blood sugar was high. The night before, it was Halloween. You should have seen how many Twizzlers I had that day. And the next day I went to the doctor and the blood sugar was elevated. Well, you're supposed to take care of those Twizzlers. If your pancreas worked at 100%, you were supposed to take care of the Twizzlers. So you didn't. So there's a little bit of trouble there. Big trouble? Maybe not. The doctor can do another test called an A1C, a hemoglobin A1C. That is a 3-month average of what your blood sugar's been in the last 3 months. So they come in and go, yeah, but I've been eating out like the last couple of days. That's why my blood sugar's been high. We go back. We go way back. We're like the bestest of friends from years ago. It goes way back. And so that A1C is a really good number to tell you where your problem is. Now, a person without a problem, now the ADA, the American Diabetes Association, has helped us this year by actually being able to diagnose diabetes based on the A1C. This is the first year that they've allowed that to happen. Otherwise, your doctor really had to have a blood sugar. But now they are allowing an A1C. So if your mom, dad, brother, and sister have diabetes and you go in and you're at high risk and the doctor says, I'm going to do this A1C, we're going to do it every year to see where it's at. And your A1C, somebody told me it was 6.3. Well, a diagnosis of diabetes is made when an A1C is 6.5 or above. A normal blood sugar is, a normal A1C for a person without a problem at all is 5.8 or below. So that 5.8 to 6.4 is pre-diabetes. Okay? So again, it's very simple to kind of see. But no, you are great. Your doctor did the A1C. It was 5.7. But you've been putting on some pounds over the last couple of years. And you know your mom, your dad, your sister, and your brother, they all have diabetes. And so what is your job? To ease up the work on the pancreas. Now what's the best way to do that? Remember those cell exercise, but remember those cells that squash like this? What happens when you lose the weight?
They open up.
The doors open. And now the insulin can work better. But how do you lose the weight? Right? How do you lose weight? You're struggling all. How do you lose the weight?
Eat less and exercise.
Eat less and exercise. So it's healthy eating and exercise. So whether you have diabetes, pre-diabetes, no diabetes, whether you are the fittest ever, it still comes down to healthy eating, exercise. And when we look at taking care of diabetes, that's the two, I can look at a chair. It's 2 of the 4 legs that stand up a chair when you have diabetes. To take care of diabetes, you need to eat healthy. Diet? Nobody comes into my classroom and diet. When they come in and they say, I cheated, I go, who put you on a diet? Because it's really about learning how to eat right, isn't it? Making good decisions. Gas for the car. Nobody in this room has a Toyota. They have Jags, Mercedes. Okay? What kind of gas do you put in a Mercedes? High test, right? Super premium unleaded, right? You're a Mercedes. You're not a Toyota. So why are you putting regular gas in your Toyota? And then the carburetor starts to go, and you don't understand why. Well, the energy you've been putting in hasn't been the right energy for the vehicle that you drive. So it's looking at putting in more of the quality foods. In front of you, you've got a list of different foods. You've got a list of carbohydrates. We talk about that in quantity. Those are quantities of food. 1 serving is 15. You're going to learn all about that. But there's another list that has diabetes superfoods. That's quality. We talk about quantity, we talk about quality. It can't be just one or the other. It has to be both. Quality, quantity. The right stuff in the right amounts. the right amounts that your body needs for energy. So when you talk about healthy eating, there's a couple of things that you have to look at. And your job, because everyone in here is different, is figuring out, what do I need to change? Is it quality? Some people come to me, they eat the best food ever. They're eating whole grains, they're eating low-fat dairy products, they're eating fruits and vegetables, but they're eating too much of it. Other people come in and they eat almost nothing. I had a woman yesterday, she came in, she had 6 saltines for breakfast, 6 saltines for lunch, and then she has a meal that includes, fried fish. I think she had fried fish, French fries, and something else for dinner. So it isn't even quantity that's her problem. It's not like she eats a tremendous amount of food. It's quality. It's what she's putting in. And then she says, I don't understand how I gain so much weight. I don't eat all day. That's why you gain so much weight. So the meal skipping or eating very little during the day and then overeating at nighttime, that's a problem that needs to get fixed. And so we talk about that as we go through the next couple of weeks. Now, what I'd like you to think about is you, because what you may do is very different than what you may do, than what you may do. Everybody's kind of different. So I want you to kind of jot down what is it that you need to change. So if I say, well, you really should be having 3 meals a day, and you're counting on your fingers, and you're only coming up with 2. On that paper, 3 meals a day. Try to get in 2 to 3 fruits. Fruit this week, fruit. No, not this week. 2 to 3 fruits a day. So you're making this list, and this list of the things that you may want to consider changing. At the end, you kind of look at the list, and you go, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. Which one do I begin with? You pick one, and you work on that, and then you pick another one. So if whole grain breads is something you want to move towards, you write it on the list. If drinking more low-fat dairy products is something you want to work on, you put it on your list. And so as you're putting things on the list, you're crossing them off as you're getting them done. Now I see some people nodding their heads. Nope, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. No. And that's okay. But you have to make decisions, and each decision has what? Has a consequence. So your decisions all have consequences. And so you make a decision, and the consequence is what it is. If you decide that, no, I don't want to do that, that's your decision. But the consequence of that will be yours as well. So these are all decisions that you have to be willing to make. Nobody can make them for you. Questions about that? So when we talk about what do, we talk about healthy eating. So healthy eating is the first step. But we also talk about exercise. Now, I don't know that anybody did. You did a little bit of the last class we did last time, right? We always included an exercise piece with this education session because exercise is huge. And we had somebody come in and do the exercise. So it was longer, but part of that was actually doing exercises. So we're not doing that this time, but we do encourage you to exercise. Now, some people are say, well, exercise. Yeah, I'm pretty active. I have a really busy day. I mean, I chase the grandkids all the time. But does that make your heartbeat race? If it doesn't make your heartbeat race, it's probably not active enough. So what you want to look at is kind of why. So, the doctor's always on top of you. Why? You got to exercise. Why? You got to exercise. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. It's so good for you. And it is. It's so good for you. But what it does is it makes the insulin work better. So when you look at these little trucks, and they carry a load of sugar, let's say the truck carries 4 loads. Well, when you exercise, it carries 8. So you've got the same amount of insulin carrying more sugar into the muscle. That's where it goes. Well, now you're getting more energy into your cell. So that's, those spenders, that's what they do. They get a lot of energy in their cells. So that you want to be more of that spender. So it increases your metabolism, not just for the time you just exercise, but for hours ahead. So you exercise now and your metabolism is now faster for hours. Till tomorrow it's going to be faster. It's going to be burning more energy. So it makes the insulin work better. That's the benefit for people with diabetes or for people at risk, because it actually pulls sugar out of the bloodstream and it puts it into the cell. And it puts it into the muscle. When it's in the muscle, where is it not? It's not in the fat. It's not in the fat, and it's not in the bloodstream. It's in the muscle. So that also helps with the weight loss. So exercise is huge. It also helps lower cholesterol. How many people here have cholesterol troubles? Blood pressure troubles? Yeah, well, those are the three sisters. You know, the three girls, right? They come together. Diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. They all are interconnected. They come together. And so when you're taking care of healthy eating, you've got to take care of the three girls. Okay? Diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Okay? Well, guess what? Exercise takes care of all three of them. So it lowers cholesterol, lowers blood pressure, lowers your blood sugar. Now, if the doctor said, I got this pill, and it's going to take care of all of those three things, you'd sign up for it, right? Give it, hand it all over. Well, you've got to treat exercise like a medicine. Remember when the doctor gives you a prescription? Exercise is like a prescription. You've got to do something. Now, what you do out of that something is up to you. Look at where you are now and kind of build from there. No one says that tomorrow you have to be walking the 45 minutes that, the recommendation is every day. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to increase from what you did yesterday. So if you did nothing yesterday, a little bit today is more than you did yesterday. And so you want to work it into your routine, and you want to think about it like a medicine. Oh, look at the time. It's time for me to go for my walk because it's my medication. Okay? And you've got to treat it that way. Some people say, well, I don't feel like it. Eating breakfast. I don't feel like it. No. It's not me. I haven't had breakfast since I was 2. And in the words of Dr. Phil, and that's working for you how? Because here you are sitting in front of me, Look at what you're doing now. You don't feel like it. Well, do you ever feel like taking a pill? The doctor gives you a new cholesterol medicine. Here you go. And you go, oh, thank you. I can't wait to take that tomorrow. No, you don't feel like it, but you take it. Why do you take it? It's supposed to help you. Why else do you take your medicine? It's supposed to take care of your condition. Mm-hmm. What else? You know where I'm going with this. And that's the same thing with exercise. You're doing it because it helps. You're doing it because it brings down your blood pressure, and it helps your blood sugar, and it helps take off and keep the weight off. Now, what kind of exercise? There's 2 kinds of exercise. Aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic exercise is the kind that gets your heart going. Right? Burns energy, gets your heart going. Anaerobic builds your muscle. Now, we used to always say, because Derek, how many people know Derek Pivel? He was the exercise physiologist that worked with us, and he would say, I'd say, which one's more important? The aerobic, the getting on the treadmill or the walking, or the anaerobic? Lifting with the stretching and the bands. And he would say, well, what's more important, your biceps or your heart? Except that I just read an article, and they looked at your muscles as being, your heart is maybe the engine, but your muscles are the pistons. And so unless your muscles are working, the engine can't run. So they're both equally important. So that aerobic exercise to get your muscle going, the heart muscle, is really important. That also helps burn fat. But the building of muscle, and the biggest muscles, which are in your arms and your legs, and in your core, that's also really important. So looking at ways to do both. Now, you don't have to do strength training, that's what we call it, every day. Studies show twice a week is all you need to get the effect, the results that you want. But you need to do it twice a week, targeting your arms and your legs. Bands, have anybody ever worked with bands? Bands are a great way to do it. They're easy. You can, they're cheap. You can have them at home. You can do them pretty much anywhere. And you just kind of step on them and you lift up your arms this way. We should bring some in maybe next week and kind of demonstrate some of the exercises that you can do with the bands. You can do light weights, cans. How many people have cans at home? Cans? Anybody? Yeah. Cans. Cans. You pick up some cans.